Hi, I'm Pete DeFazio with F-Body Warehouse. One of the most common things that wears out on the interior of a 70 to 81 Trans Am and a 73 to 81 Camaro is that the console bin lid wears out and the hinge breaks, or the cushion pad cracks. We offer all the products for your center console bin new, and today we're going to show you how to assemble the unit top to bottom, front to back, using all new products. When you go to replace a center console bin assembly, you got to know what parts you need. All these products are new, and we do offer them on the website at fbodywarehouse.com. Big thing, what always breaks on these cars, this is the bin liner, and this is a new OER unit. This seam line is what breaks on the factory when it causes your lid to flop all over the place. They offer these new. The next product, and this just came out, is a correct reproduction padded lid. This can be re-dyed to any color that you want, and it does feature the proper padded vinyl with the molded swing arm that's riveted in place. That mounts onto the liner, and then you have several components that make up the latch assembly. You have the actual latch itself. You have the half moon spring. What that spring does is it puts tension on the bin latch. And then you have the curlicue spring, and what this spring does is it puts tension on the lid when you open it, and that's what holds it up and keeps it in place. Final product we're proud to offer, it's the Restoration Parts Group, which is our name brand. It is a complete mounting kit for your center console, so we'll be using some of those products today to assemble this. A lot of folks will look at this and say, wow, what a nightmare. How does this all go together? The great thing is you need two tools. You need a little 1/4 inch drive with a 1/4 inch socket. That is going to be used to install these two bolts onto the transmission tunnel on your center console. But to actually put this together, it's simply held together by a bunch of Phillips head screws, so you need a Phillips head screwdriver. Install time here, I can assemble these in about 90 seconds, but we're going to slow it down some and go through piece by piece how to put it together to make it easier for you. The first step in assembling your console bin is going to be, you're going to put the padded lid in through the liner. And it's going to go right through that hole, but also has to go through that hole as well. This is a little tricky. This is probably one of the harder parts of the assembly. But what you do is you lift and you slide it in through the top. And then you see how you kind of let all this stuff sandwich together? And then you wiggle and push. And if you can see that, let's see if I can get that good there. Do you see how the swing arm has gone through the top part and then through the bottom part and comes out through? When you sandwich this whole section together then, you end up with that. And I'll show you later how to install this curlicue spring, but your curlicue spring is going to go right there. The second step is going to be to install the bin trigger and the tension spring. This is a spring that puts tension on your bin trigger, and when you push it in, it makes it so it rebounds back out to you. To do that, you're going to open this back up. Now this is the bin, this is the liner lid, and then this is the actual bin lid. And it opens up like a flower. You're going to take your trigger, and if you can see that hole right there, it's just going to slip in. Like that. So the front has come through. You can see the nipple on the bottom has protruded through that hole. And then on the back, you can see this little back tab is in place. Next up, you have this half moon spring. Can you see that? The half moon spring pops in backwards, so the arch faces the back of the bin trigger. Now that we've installed the bin trigger and the tension spring, the hardest part of this whole process is what we're going to do next. And that is, we have 5 Phillips head screws that hold the bin lid to the liner. If you were just to flip this over, all these guts are going to fall out. They're held in place when this is screwed down. So how we do this is we close the top back down on it, hold it tightly, flip the entire unit upside down, and then put your fingers in place and gently, whoops, we actually latched, gently open up. Ta-da! That's going to reveal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws. That's where we're going to install them. The trick is to start and just put these in finger tight. In the meantime, while I'm starting to put these in place, if when you flipped it over the half moon spring pops out, there won't be tension on the button any longer, and you'll have to repeat the process we just went through. And all you're going to do is just get these started one turn, and it'll just keep it so all your screw holes are lined up. And I always start closest to the bin lid, to the bin trigger there, and then that way there's some tension on it and it'll keep it from popping on you. Okay. We've got them all finger tighted and all that they're just started. And then start closest to the bin tension trigger. The release trigger, I should say. Now once you get those two tightened down a couple turns, then I come all the way over to the far corner and I start on the rear. We've now installed the lid onto our liner and installed the latch assembly. When you depress the button, it releases and opens. When you close it, it latches. The last thing to do now is to install a curly Q spring onto the liner. What this spring does is when you open the lid, it compresses and puts tension on the top of the lid, holding it open. How to install the curly Q spring is you feed the back side up through the hole on the bin swing arm. Feed it up, in, and then you'll spin it around. So as you can see, it's in there, and then your curly Q spring sits on the inside of the bin swing arm, and then we're going to compress the spring and sort of tweak it and push it into that hole. The reason you push it into this one last is because this hole is slightly oversized and it allows you to do it and have a little room to work around. So you take your thumb, compress inward, compressing the spring, and then you would line it up to the hole. Can you see that? And then it's just a matter of finagling her in place. Oops. There we go. And when I just did that, I pushed it too far in and it kind of skipped. If you do that, all you have to do is then pull back up a notch and it pops into place. Now, we open. Ta-da! You have tension on it. Your spring is compressing properly. You close it. That's how the unit should look once assembled onto the swing arm and the latch.